Hey there, and welcome. We are excited to be here after an incredible April, and I want to let you know that the team here at Hack & Company, we read the market statistics so that you don't have to. The greater Edmonton area has been a very neat place when you consider it in contrast to so many other markets throughout North America. When some other markets were hot, we were not, and now we're having one of the most incredible springs that we've seen. But there's lots of things in the news right now. There's lots of information about interest rates rising and about, people not, or real estate markets cooling. And we're going to unpack the Realtors Association of Edmonton Market Statistics Pack so that you don't actually have to read it. I want to bring in and introduce the entire team here at Hack & Company at RE/MAX River City. We have our wonderful agents here, but we also have some amazing support team behind us that is allowing us to be forward with you so that everything that needs to get done this morning is done. And I have to say that that's the big advantage that teams bring, is we're all here delivering you market statistics, and showings are still being booked on our listings and things are still happening in our business. So let's start off with introducing some wonderful ladies. Erida Lenahan, how are you doing this morning? Oh, Erida, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. And you've just been on a streak over the last few weeks, putting up a deal a week, sometimes two a week. How have you found the spring market so far?
It's been really good. It's been super active.
Oh, that's fantastic. And great job as we go through the spring market. Amy Brown, how are you doing this morning?
Doing great. I'm excited to be getting these stats out.
Yeah, I bet, because this market has been really interesting for you. You've set some records around showings into listings, around the amount above list price for some of the properties you brought to the market. I imagine that your experience with clients in perspective of these market statistics is going to be great. Can't wait to unpack these with you.
Me too.
We've also got Craig Bentley. Craig, you've been in hot markets in Alberta. You've been in hot markets in Ontario. How are you feeling here? Great listings coming to the market so far with you. And I think you might end up negotiating again today, hey?
Yeah, kind of sounds like that right now. Edmonton's showing a lot of good signs right now. Early in Ontario, when I was there was kind of these warning signs of markets picking up, and all those indicators are showing up here in Edmonton. So right now, it's an extremely exciting time to be in our spring market.
Oh, that's awesome. And thanks for joining us this morning. And Anthony D'Souza, so good to see you. You've been everywhere. I imagine that you were glued to the NHL last night.
Absolutely.
And you know what? A lot of people would expect that you would be super stoked being here in Edmonton because we had a great game last night.
That's correct. You did.
But you are our teammate that wears a Leafs jersey. And so your team did not have a great game last night.
Yeah, I mean, we played well, but we didn't get the result we were looking for. So we'll see if we can both pull it out tomorrow.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be that kind of forced play. It's so great to have that dynamic in the office. I have to say that it's almost more fun having you as a Leafs fan than having another Oilers fan here. Right? So but the one thing that I got my fingers crossed for is that our team is like, I look at this Hunger Games style. So we don't even need the cup. We just need to outrun your team and those folks south of us. So how's your spring market been so far?
I'd say it's fun. I'm really enjoying the differences that we're seeing in the market, right? There's some people having a great experience with their listing and, using some new strategies on the purchase. So I think it's been fun, and I'm excited to see how the rest of this year unfolds.
Man, I think that's probably one of the biggest theme songs that we've been talking about through this office has been that buyer strategy, right? The buyer strategy has changed quite a bit.
That's right.
And so when you're talking to people that are looking to sell and buy, at one point they were incredibly nervous. How are people going through that part of the experience now?
Well, I think there's definitely a lot more families that are considering purchasing before selling in today's market, especially if we've been doing a good job keeping them up to date on what their home would sell for and kind of the speed that it could go if it's a great property. So, being able to confidently approach a new place that you want to call home and then know that that's already taken care of. And then we can come through with our strategy to sell your place before you have to worry about moving to the next one. That's a great change that's happened in our market recently, because you used to have to sell first because it would be, a tough nut to crack. And then there would be your pick of the litter. But that's definitely a way that we're helping buyers and sellers, or families in general, navigate to become buyers and sellers in this market.
Yeah, and that's really our biggest commitment is like, how do we help people have those 5-star experiences? And I think that maybe we should talk about some of the illusions. Like, who here knows some people that think that there's no houses to buy?
I do.
Yeah, like obviously there must be less listings, right? No, we had significantly more listings. In fact, we've been setting some records around listings with the amount of property that's coming to the market. And we're not just talking in April. We were also talking in March, where we had a 5-year high for the amount of new inventory coming to the market. So what do you guys think it is?
They're being purchased a lot quicker and they're flying off the shelves quicker.
Mm-hmm.
So people actually find the demand actually shocking, right? Is they cannot believe that they had twice as many properties come to the market, pretty much, but they're not seeing that experience on the market. Where I think that you might have been shocked as well if you were maybe cruising around in 2018 and you put a property on the market and were shocked at how few buyers there were, right?
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to see it sway back and forward. Like when we take a look at new residential that was showing up in times like 2021, like last year, we had, it would have looked like in April, 4,000 new listings. And we're at 4,700 when we take a look at how many new listings are coming now. Last year was 4,300. We're at 4,700. But when you take a look at what happened last March, it was also a very big contrast. So you're saying that even though new listings are coming to the market, we're not seeing that demand. What about your own listings? So how do you guys really, what's your experience right now when you put up a property? Just summarizing maybe your last 5 and giving us some type of average. Like Amy, what would you say to summarize your last 5 listings?
If it's a great listing, it's going to go up. It's probably going to just make it through opening weekend and go into multiple offers and sell for over.
Tell me about great.
A great listing would be something that's not in disrepair at all, something that has a great location, has the amenities nearby that you would want, is in a quiet spot. Family homes right now, or really a lot of people are looking for those, as well as duplexes and townhomes are just out of this world.
Yeah, I also think that, well, let me know. Do you think that a great listing is also accurate?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Like, man, is the market ever rewarding accuracy right now?
Yes.
If you are accurate, you get so many buyers, it can totally change your outcome with just buyer behavior around really driving traffic into listings. Is anybody else in the middle of that experience? Like Craig, you had a property that was just gangbusters last weekend. Was that the same thing for you? Because your property didn't really meet Amy's criteria as being particularly high condition. In fact, possibly could use a lot of renovations.
Yeah, absolutely. It had a great location in Sherwood Park. It needed a little bit of updating on the inside, but all the major aspects like the roof, furnace, those were all taken care of. So people have the idea where they can purchase a place like that, improve the inside, and garner a good value. It was very appealing. So we got 4 offers in the day after we launched, and it ended up selling into selling over asking, completely unconditional. And that's something we're seeing more of in this market. Less financing conditions, less home inspection conditions, more favorable terms for a seller right now.
And this is kind of leading us to a new set of tools. So when we're talking about clients being competitive in our market, there are some new tools out there that people might not be aware of. Like we were talking to Cam and Jules from Buyer's Choice the other day, and they actually are doing competitive buyer support, which means that they'll go on showings so that you can make an offer, but an inspector could have been through and seen the property with you, even though it wasn't a formal inspection. Man, it's interesting to see how that's like not no risk, it's low risk, right? Or at least managing some of the risk. And that's really what we want to see when people feel a lot of pressure to make those clean offers, right? Do you find that your buyers are nervous, Erida?
They definitely can be given the circumstances.
Yeah, it's tough. There's some people that will see multiple offers and it really makes them nervous, right? But it's a good thing to know that there are ways to win, right? Who has represented buyers here recently that that have won in multiple offers? Like, let's just say really recently, like last 30 days. I got a couple of nods and a hand. Is that everybody? Almost everybody into multiple offers. Do we have any winners among us? One in multiple offers. Just Tony?
I just don't remember.
It's been a busy few weeks, hasn't it?
It has. It really has.
Well, can you let somebody in on what that's like for you guys as far as what is your daily experience like being in real estate right now?
Oh, right now I'm doing 11 to 13 hours a day. I'm dealing with multiple clients every single day. And that's why everything kind of gets jumbled.
I could understand that.
Same thing, kind of working hard, trying our best for our clients, trying to be in the game with them, so they're not just coming to us with properties that they want to see. We're bringing properties to them to say, hey, this one just hit the market. We should go check it out. Or, hey, listen, you know what? We missed out on a couple because you guys are out of town. There's a couple here in the neighborhoods that you guys are looking for, but they're already pending. Let's go check those out. And we actually just ended up being a backup offer where the first offer could not remove their conditions. And now we're pending and our financing's approved and we're doing our inspection tonight. So we're in a great position to win, and we avoided multiple offers, got a bit of a deal. And yeah, just a different way of approaching the market. And that agent is super impressed with us right now because his client's having a good experience.
That's awesome. And so with you, like you were there when somebody else needed you. And a lot of the time that's based on agent relationships. Would you say that your communication with that other agent was key to that?
Absolutely. And even now we've had a couple of things to go back and forth about. That guy is like, he loves us so far. He's super responsive to the messages I'm sending him. We got the time we needed for the inspection, which didn't really necessarily work for the seller, but they're willing to accommodate given the circumstances. And yeah, so far, I think the way you treat people is super important. And we seem to be doing a great job with that, especially the way we're approaching agents when we are in multiple offers. We're just showing them that we can get their client to the end. We can get our clients through. We can make it happen for them.
That's awesome. And Craig, I know that you're increasing the inventory in the market briefly this weekend. I think you got 2 coming to the market this weekend, hey?
Sorry, my internet connection slightly cut out there, Taylor. Could you repeat that very quickly?
Oh, no problem. I was saying that I was joking around about how you're raising the inventory just briefly this weekend here, bringing a couple of different listings to the market. But you have some perspective on months of inventory. This is how we measure the market, the relationship between buyers and sellers. Tell us more.
Yeah, it's a good indicator of supply and demand. So right now here in Edmonton, we're sitting at 2.2 months of inventory. And what that means is if not one new listing came to the market as of today, just over 2 months, everything would sell if we stayed at the same pace that we're in right now. So a balanced market is 3.5 months, give or take. So right now we're in one of the best sellers markets we've had in the past decade. And we kind of touched upon it a little bit earlier. Sellers have most of the advantages in this type of market. So if you own a property right now and you're thinking about making a move, there's a very good likelihood that you're going to have lots of people through your home, get multiple offers, and get far more favorable terms than you would have just a couple of years ago.
Amy, I see that you agree with that.
Absolutely. 100%.
That's awesome. So thanks for that. It really shows that there is supply coming to the market, but the demand is so high that it's consuming it rather quickly. So that's going to be a key element to a buyer strategy. And look at the secondary strategy. Not only are we going to make our best attempt to get you there on day zero, but Tony was also saying that there is some like secondary pickups out there. There's some deals to be had because you're circumventing that frenzy at the beginning of the listing, which is really what we're also good at creating. I think, Tony, you've got something coming in Aaron Ridge this weekend, hey?
Oh yeah, that place is getting pretty busy right now. Aaron Ridge North, super desirable place to be, close to the school, parks, all the shopping and everything like that. It's a triple car garage, fully finished home, nice backyard with a hot tub. So coming in at $750, I think it's going to be pretty poppin'. So far, so good. Lots of agents asking questions about it.
Okay, when you say poppin', are you talking like a new personal record this weekend or possibly a new team record?
You know what? I'm not sure how crazy it could get, but I think the fact that the price point that we're listed at, it's the most affordable triple car garage in all of St. Albert. And there is not a single thing that this house needs. It's completely move-in ready. And so the market is definitely going to respond to that.
So you think that this might actually be under 5 days on market?
Yep.
How does that contrast to what's normal? Erida, days on market, what are you seeing right now?
So right now, the average days on market for all residential is 31 days. But for single families and duplexes, those are moving quicker at 23 and 24 days. And then condos are taking the longest at about 45 days.
Man, that's been the story for the last few years. Like if we were to describe the condo market right now as though it was the chicken that you're going to have for dinner and it's waiting on the counter, would you guys say that it is still frozen solid? Or are we getting any type of thaw there?
We're starting to get some thaw, but it's probably still not edible.
Okay. So, Amy, you would agree?
I would agree with that. Yes.
Yeah. So there's going to be some people that are looking to buy things in Edmonton because the affordability is going to make us really popular as the interest rates go up. Because interest rates are going to make it more expensive everywhere. So people are going to funnel to the places like this where it only takes 4 times the average income to buy the average house here, and there are definitely deals to be had in condos and townhouses right now as they kind of race to catch up with what we're seeing in single family dwellings. Now, when we take a look at how this is affecting pricing, what do you see?
Okay. So when we're talking about average price, we're talking about just that average. So from the lowest to the highest and then divide it out. And what are we coming to? So duplexes and townhomes are performing incredibly well as they have month over month. So in April, we were up 20,000 from March, but in March, we were up 15,000 from February. So they continue to get better and better and stronger and stronger. And that's up $50,000 from this time last year. With single family, we are sitting at an average of 510 or almost 511 here, which is up $7,000 from last month. That seems to be the average month over month. It goes up about 7,000 every month for the last little while here. With condos, like we've been talking about, they're down again. So they're down about 8,000 from last month, but keep in mind that they're up 10,000 from last year. So all residential in general at this point is sitting at 417, which is at about $28,000 from last year. So in general, real estate is still a great investment. For people that are looking to sell, if you have a duplex or townhome or a single family house, there's never been a better time. For those that are looking to purchase, make sure you're ready. Get that pre-approval, have your rate locked in. These homes that are coming to the market that are great, great homes are selling incredibly fast. Like we've been saying, my last listing made it just through the weekend. It was in multiple offers and sold over list. And that seems to almost be what my expectation is as these listings come up.
I think that everybody wants a listing agent that has those expectations.
Yeah.
Right? Like we're not there. Like we're not there to stop the fight. We're there to win it. For those folks out there that are like, oh man, they're juking the system, you better believe we are. We're invested in getting the most money for our sellers.
Yes.
Like we would do a fraction of what we do here at Hack and Company at Remax River City if the 5-star reviews that we're known for weren't important to us, you know? And that's something that we're really passionate about because we do want to perform.
Mhm.
Now, Amy, you also have you have the finger on the pulse when it comes to building. You are one of the most prolific builder representatives in the luxury market in Edmonton. What do you see from all your contacts on the build side?
Prices just continue to rise and rise. These builders are having a really hard time maintaining any kind of margins. And so we're going to see it continue to rise until I don't know when. Things are tough in the builder world right now.
Yeah, so that's going to be really interesting because builders often are in this speculatory mode where they are doing the calculations like you were and saying, okay, the average price is moving up 7,000. So when we're going to be done this project 12 months from now, we got to do 7, 14, 21, 28, right? Like they just count up to that. And that's part of where they make their money. So how much of that is not going to be true? Like if rates go up a 1%, how much is the average family's purchase power going to be affected?
When we're talking about average price, we're like the average price for all residential, that works out to about $250 a month. But we need to consider that that's not just $250 a month. That is if they can get the same approval amount. So they might have a lower approval amount or the $250 per month. And when we talk about $250 per month, that could mean a lot of things. That could mean your date night. That could mean, if you are able to get a new outfit that month or you're not. So it really does make a difference.
And you can check with a mortgage expert, but a lot of them are going to say that for each $50 increment, your monthly amount changes, it changes your purchase power by $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
And so you could actually see the amount you qualify for diminish by $50,000 if interest rates were to move up about 1%. And this is information that I want you to take to a mortgage expert, but we want you to know the great questions to ask. So when it comes down to that, you can play that into your multiple offer strategy. If you're into that hot property and you can delay the possession by 3 months, if that's the average price property, it could be up $21,000 by then, which means that you could give the seller 7 and keep 14 for you if you knew the right people to lead you in. And the other thing is that you can play this on the other side and say, okay, I'm in the market now for this amount. This is how my money's being picked up. But if you're one of those families that's considering upgrading, those people that we've helped upgrade have been the winners because they've been locking in their interest rates for like the next 5 years. They're going to miss a big part of the storm, right?
Yeah.
And on top of that, they're in the place that they want to be. Because there's only 2 days that matter. In real estate, it's the day you buy and the day you sell. Every day in between is that's your home ownership. But the real estate part of it is the bookends. So, Tony, can you take us through? I know that you've been watching what's coming to the market and how fast it's going. Like what's coming onto the shelf and leaving the shelf when we take a look at some of these great listings?
I mean, the stuff that's super hot right now are those homes that would be considered like a home someone's upgrading into, like you were just talking about. They're usually super move-in ready, maybe just need some paint, maybe not even anything. Just bring your furniture, right? Set up your beds and away you go. But we're seeing that these properties that are super attractive to these families are the ones with the larger yards. They've got the oversized or triple garage. They've got the bonus room and the den and the fully finished basement, and there's nothing needed, mechanically sound. Those properties are flying right now. And then alternatively, on the cold side, like that chicken that's left on the counter, the stuff that needs a lot of work. And then we're not even just talking about cosmetically, like people can overlook that and they can do their IKEA kitchens and stuff like that over time. If it's got poly B plumbing or aluminum wiring, these are challenges that a lot of the buyers in the marketplace today are not going to be interested in moving forward on because it's just stuff that they don't know. Right? You got to start taking apart walls and ripping out plumbing and pigtailing and doing all this stuff before they even move in. There's no budget for that, right? These people are spending every dollar they have, all their savings to get that next house. And so they're going to overlook those properties that need a lot of work, even if they do have great bones.
That's great perspective on what's hot and what's not when it comes to what's coming to the market. And what we see coming to the market and leaving in the same month will probably surprise a lot of people that also are worried about not having any options for houses. Like when we take a look at what was going on in March, it was like 8 out of 10 single family houses were gone basically as they showed up. When you take a look at how it rotates, whereas now it's only 6 out of 10. Condos is 6 out of 10. Can you believe single family detached and condos are running the same percentage for what's coming to the market and leaving in the same months? And we're also seeing like January type numbers around duplexes and townhouses. So what normally happens in most economic models is that demand calls supply to the market. And now we're going to catch some supply. And I think those people that were really worried about jumping from the sale to the purchase are now going to be kind of unlocked. So when you're doing some math for people, because we do a lot of time math here, and a lot of families are going to want to be in their new house by September 1, right? Why do they choose September 1st?
Schools.
Okay, so if they're going to buy those really desirable properties, how long do those people need before they give up possession?
I'd say on average about 60 days.
Okay, so it's going to take us from September 1 back to August 1, and then all the way to July 1. If I am shopping and that's my window, how long am I normally in the market until I match up to the best inventory available and I actually purchase property?
I'd say on average right now with my buyers, we're 2 to 3 weeks from usually that very first meeting, getting their search set up to the point where they're actually, moving forward and removing conditions on a home. So especially since pre-approvals, right? If they just got their pre-approval, like they got to get action right now or else their pre-approval is going to expire. And then, they're not going to be able to get that possession day they're looking for.
Okay, so these are some key things to watch for when it comes down to timing the market here is that if you're going to be in the market for 3 weeks, you got to basically be active, by that second week in June, which is going to that's 3 weeks from now. So for those people that are also going to bring a property to the market to sell, what are you guys doing right now? Are you taking them into the market as a buyer if they can, grabbing something and then launching a great listing after that? Or are you running it a different way?
That's the way that it's going right now if they're looking to buy as well.
Awesome. So looking at this entire stats package and talking to the groups that you are talking to, do you want to close us off today with any advice to buyers and sellers? Let's go and let's talk about sellers first. We got some folks that there's a gentleman in the comments here, and he's talking about his duplex being currently listed. So hi, Shiv. Appreciate you joining us for Market Stats. And I want you to know that since your property is currently listed, we cannot interfere with that relationship, right? So your property is going to be something that you want to take up with your agents, but I'm going to ask around the table here, just in general, what are the 3 things that you focus on to make sure a property is in great position to sell?
Pricing has to be on point compared to based on the comparables nearby, but also look out for anything that could be like a weakness, right? So a great agent's going to show you what weaknesses there might be against the competition nearby so you can deal with them ahead of time. So that way it's not a problem later or something or a reason why a buyer would overlook it.
Okay, so we're talking about 3 things that would be important to sellers. And unfortunately, we can't talk directly to Shiv just because we want to respect his current relationship. But the 3 things, so Tony hit price. Who can give me one of the other 2?
Condition. Sorry, ensuring that your house is in good condition. I know everybody, when they talk about selling, a lot of people want to get into that right away. Make sure you're prepared. Start packing away a few things, clearing out some of your personal possessions, doing those paint touch-ups that you need to do. That way, when pictures are taken and showings start to happen, buyers can see the quality that your home is, not what needs to be done.
Oh, actually, I couldn't even see. This is Shiv that we know. Tony, when we're talking to people about as far as listings, it's just wonderful to see that folks are coming right into the comments to chat with us during these market stats. The seller's market is something that we're hearing of in newspapers from other places that's super extreme. We've seen a pretty good advantage over here, but obviously you can see with new properties coming to the market, it's changing the landscape. So it's really interesting when it comes down to that. So Craig was saying condition. Tony was saying pricing and watching for weaknesses. And Amy, what do you think is like a key element in general for sellers?
I was going to say nothing sells better than something that's clean. So we're getting to that point in the marketplace where your property being clean is going to make a big difference. Also, the sun's coming out, make sure your grass is mowed, make sure you sweep off your front step, all of those things. You want somebody to picture themselves in the home. And so rather than seeing, dust and debris here and there, they want to see how they would keep it. And so if you can get it super, super clean, you're going to have better luck than you would over anything else, I think.
That is great advice. And I appreciate you sharing that with us, because I think that the biggest thing that you can do for resale is clean. I'm in total agreement with you, is that somebody's got to want to be there. Show experience is an experience. And when people think about parting with hundreds of thousands of dollars, do they feel comfortable here? And what are their other options? So the other horses in the race are racing against you. And the people that see any property, well, when they leave, they often don't go homeless. They go and buy the most reasonable alternative.
If you're going to mow and your neighbor's not, mow their yard.
She's in it to win it. I love it. Thanks so much for that, Amy. Anybody else? Is there anything that you want to contribute as we close the show here? Any advice to sellers? Well, each situation is individual. So we want to invite everybody to reach out to us. We have a fast agent hotline that's 780-909-6770, where we talk to people just like we talk to each other here. We help give them insight. We help guide them. We help understand what is going to be their general experience. What is those steps going to be? Because we have been through this hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. You can see many 5-star experiences on rankmyagent.com, where we are the highest rated and reviewed real estate team in the greater Edmonton area. And we really do want to interview for your business. In fact, the thing that I could recommend no more than anything else, the thing that's most important, is please interview multiple agents. If you're going to interview us, interview someone against us. And if you're going to interview anyone else, invite us to be your competition. You can see that the people here are invested in wins. And when we win, you win. My name is Taylor. I am with the entire team at HACK&CO RE/MAX River City, as well as we also want to thank our wonderful support team. Emily is the one who is shaking social media with Tiana's help, and Liv here is making sure that all the trains run on time. So thank you, everybody. We appreciate you joining us, and call us. We would be happy to hear from you to talk a little bit more about your situation. Thanks, guys. You guys have an awesome day. Cheers.
See ya.